Hi, this time we will explain the storyline of a film called The God of Gamblers, which was released back in 1989. This film tells the story of a man named Ko Chun who is very skilled at gambling.
Who's that guy? 賭神.
So, let's follow the storyline. The beginning of this film shows a very large gambling arena, where a group of people took part in a bet, one of which was Ko Chun. He easily won the gambling, until the owner of the gambling place forbade him to continue the game. The scene moved to Tokyo. At that time, Ko Chun was accompanied by his beautiful girlfriend named Janet. She said that the next opponent of Ko Chun was a man named Mr. Wang. Not long after that, he also attended the gambling game.
攞4隻9萬，就有36萬.
The game would be divided into 2 rounds. The first half was a game of mahjong and the second half was a game of dice. Both in the first and second round, Ko Chun could easily beat Mr. Wang, even though Mr. Wang had been assisted by his assistant. After the game was over and everyone had left, Mr. Wang finally said the real purpose. Previously he already knew that he would lose the game because his initial goal was to ask Ko Chun to take revenge on a gambling king named Chom Kim-shing. The man had beaten his father 3 years ago and made his father commit suicide. Initially Ko Yi, who was Ko Chun's assistant as well as his cousin, said that he should not interfere in their affairs. However, Ko Chun decided to help Mr. Wang defeat Chom Kim-shing. In another place, a young man who was an amateur gambler named Michael. Michael was very obsessed with gambling, but he always lost even when playing in small clubs. Michael also had a girlfriend named Jane. Jane always asked him to find a better job, but Michael refused and said the only way for them to get rich quickly is just by gambling. When they were alone, they were surprised by the arrival of a man and his dog. Until at night, Michael and his friend made a trap hoping the man would fall into a ravine near his house. In a different place, Ko Chun was currently returning to the gambling arena, but this time he just wanted to accompany his friend. It turned out that his friend had cheated because his opponent named Nam was cheating. Ko Chun asked him to stop playing, but he was instead mocked. Finally Ko Chun felt challenged and took his friend's place. What they had previously lost now turned 180 degrees. They finally won the battle. Not accepting his defeat, Nam ordered his men to go after Ko Chun to retrieve his check, but Ko Chun was smart enough because he decided not to take the car and chose to take the train. They did not just give up and kept chasing Ko Chun. At that time Dragon, who was Mr. Wang's bodyguard, was also on the train to protect Ko Chun, until when they fought, Ko Chun casually came out and let Dragon confront them. After getting off the train, Ko Chun unexpectedly met the man who had the dog. The dog barked at him, but when he looked into the dog's eyes, the dog immediately ran away with his master. After the man left, he turned his body and accidentally stepped on the trap that had been made by Michael. Finally Ko Chun fell into the ravine and hit his head, making him unconscious. At that time Michael and the others heard screams and immediately checked who had fallen, until finally they found a strange man and immediately took him to his house. The next day when Michael and Jane were alone, they heard his grandmother screaming. They thought that Ko Chun committed a crime and beat him, but his grandmother tried to stop Michael. Since then Ko Chun also looked very different. He acted like a child. Realizing that Ko Chun lost his memory, Michael finally changed his attitude. At that time Ko Chun also really liked chocolate. Because they didn't know his name, they called him Chocolate. Ko Chun had several banknotes stored in his jacket pocket. Knowing this, Michael often asked for them, but Jane warned that he should not give the money to anyone, including Michael. The next day Michael took Ko Chun to a gambling club. At first Jane prevented them, but Michael didn't care about it. Then he introduced Ko Chun to the man they called Big Brother. Michael said that Ko Chun was his cousin from the USA. They also used Ko Chun to gamble. Initially Ko Chun played carelessly and made them panic, but unexpectedly Ko Chun seemed to have regained his memory and he could win the game. After that, they returned home and tested Ko Chun's gambling skills. After playing a few times, Ko Chun seemed to outperform the game even though Michael had cheated. Seeing this ability, Michael felt happy and would use him in every gambling arena. After gambling several times and always won, now Michael and the others had earned a lot of money and immediately spent the money they got. At first, they could only buy things that weren't too expensive like watches, but after a few plays they were able to finally buy a car. Because it was too wasteful, they finally ran out of money and had to borrow money from a moneylender named Brother Xing. After successfully borrowing the money, they returned to the casino and asked Ko Chun to gamble, but when he went to the toilet, Ko Chun was smoking because the money had run out. Michael was annoyed immediately and took Ko Chun away from there. After that, Michael and Jane immediately took him to the hospital. When they got there, the doctor said that Ko Chun had lost his memory and needed quite a lot of money to perform surgery. Both of them were confused about finding medical expenses. Michael said that they would sell everything, but Jane was worried about their unpaid debt to Xing brother. After selling everything, they stayed at a hotel and accidentally Michael met Xing's brother. Seeing this, Michael fled through the window, but Xing's brother's men immediately chased him and they managed to catch Michael. In the evening, Jane received a call from Brother Xing's. He asked Jane to immediately bring the money or they would torture Michael. Hearing this, Jane immediately took all the money they had, but the money was not enough. Therefore he also brought Ko Chun and said that he was the god of gambling. Of course Brother Xing didn't believe it, because so far they had never seen the face of the man who was nicknamed the god of gambling. To prove whether he was a gambling god or not, they asked Brother Xing and Ko Chun to playing card. At first they still doubted the ability of Ko Chun, but after giving Ko Chun chocolate, Ko Chun was able to recall his abilities again. After that, Jane grabbed the knife and stabbed Brother Xing's thigh. Unable to stand the pain, Brother Xing's allowed them to leave. Meanwhile, in a different place, Janet looked frightened by Yi's attitude, which had begun to change. She also told what happened while recording it. A moment later, Yi came in drunk. He tried to rape Janet and said that he wanted all Ko Chun's money that was in a Swiss bank. Janet tried to fight him, but unexpectedly Yi pushed her down and made her die. After that, he also damaged the tape to eliminate the evidence. After that, Yi cooperated with Nam to kill Ko Chun. Apparently all this time he knew where Ko Chun was. Several people immediately went to the location and looked for the whereabouts of Ko Chun. As they were about to leave the hotel, several people appeared to kill Ko Chun, but at the same time Dragon appeared and protected them. Seeing this attack, Ko Chun, who had still lost his memory, panicked and immediately got away from them. At that time Yi met Ko Chun again, but Ko Chun did not recognize him. Fortunately, Michael immediately appeared and protected him. At that time Ko Chun saw Dragon, who was attacked by several people until that he was shot. This made Ko Chun's memory slowly return. He grabbed a gun and shot the people. A moment later he panicked again and tried to run away from there. Unexpectedly Ko Chun hit his head. Finally Ko Chun had to be hospitalized. Since then, his memory as a god of gambling had recovered, but unfortunately he did not remember that Yi had attacked him. Yi also kept Janet's death a secret and said that Janet had disappeared. At that time Michael tried to break into the hospital and meet Ko Chun, but Ko Chun did not remember him at all. Elsewhere, Chan Kam Sing was observing how Ko Chun had been playing all this time. He thought that Ko Chun's ability to gamble came from the jade ring that Ko Chun always caressed. Finally they planned to cheat. They would use special glasses and mark some cards. When the high-end gambling game began, they played on the high seas on a cruise ship. At the same time Michael sneaked into the ship and again warned Ko Chun that his cousin wanted to kill him, but Ko Chun didn't care at all. Long story short, Chan Kam Sing could easily see the marks on some cards and he thought that he would win this time. But the unexpected happened. Ko Chun finally won the match.
Jesus, I couldn't believe it.
Ko Chun knew that Chan Kam Sing was cheating and the method he used was outdated by 2 years ago. Ko Chun also did the same thing, but he used contact lens, while the jade he held during the match was also part of his plan so they would focus on Ko Chun's hand. For this victory, Ko Chun immediately hugged Yi. This even made Chan Kam Sing angry because he felt betrayed by Yi and then shot Yi. Despite having killed Yi, Chan Kam Sing looked calm because no one could catch him in the international ocean. But Ko Chun showed that from the start the cruise ship never left Hong Kong port. After that Mr. Wang also thanked him for taking revenge on the man and asked what gift he wanted, and Ko Chun only replied that he only wanted chocolate. The film ended by showing Ko Chun, who was meeting Michael and the others.